everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my channel. This weekend I am going on an adventure. I am actually going to Rose City Comicon in Portland, Oregon for the first time ever. I'm actually here in Portland already. I'm staying at the DoubleTree Hotel and I am actually here on the invite of Christine and the PDX Browncoats to join them in a panel this weekend. So I'm going to be talking on a panel with two other people, Christine and also Marietta, both of whose socials I will link down in the description. And we're doing this panel tomorrow, Saturday, which is all about like historical costuming meeting cosplay. So kind of like taking your fantasy type characters or sci-fi type characters and turning them historical, or also just doing cosplays of historical things, such as Felicity or all the other American Girl stuff that I do, or like most of the cosplays that I do, period, you know, Rose, Daniel Deronda, etc. So I'm going to be wearing Felicity tomorrow for that panel. Again, I've just driven down here to Portland from the Seattle area. It's about like a 2.5 to 3 hour drive. And so tomorrow morning, I am going to get all ready up in Felicity and go ahead and show you everything about Rose City Comicon. I've never been here before, so I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing or where anything is or what's going on. I have like the Rose City Comicon app downloaded, but that is about all I know. And then I know what time I have to be ready for the panel, ready to go. So yeah, that is about it. So I'm taking you with me because we're going on this adventure together. I am dressed and ready to head over to the con. I'm running just a little bit behind, so unfortunately I don't think I'm gonna make the first panel at 10:30 that I wanted to do, which was an Outlander themed dance class, which sounded pretty cool. But nonetheless, I'm also a little bit delayed because I actually packed up everything this morning and I've decided not to spend the night tonight. I was originally going to spend tonight, Saturday here, and then possibly go back to the con on Sunday. But then my friend who was supposed to come with me actually had a family emergency and couldn't come. So I'm here solo for one thing. And then also this hotel, do not recommend. It is not clean. Like there's dust everywhere. The remote is visibly dirty. They left someone else's water bottle in this room. So yeah, don't use the DoubleTree in Portland. Not okay. I'm gonna go downstairs right now and like store my baggage because I've also heard that cars get broken into here. And hopefully they'll be able to refund my second night because I did unfortunately choose the non-refundable rate because I only booked this like a week and a half ago. But this hotel's over $200 a night and it is visibly dirty with a used water bottle. Ew. Anyway, let's go to Rose City. We are here at Rose City Comicon. I've actually made it in time for that first panel. So I am going to head just over this way to the B exhibit hall and find my dance class.
5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, back. Do it again. Arms right. Back to your left. 2 hands. Go. Pass right shoulders.
Some lovely critical role cosplay. No, get in there. Get in there. Come on, you're all together. Of course, the lighting in here is awful. Spin for me.
Spin friends.
Lovely. You guys can spin too, you know.
I do
Look
not
at that. So I think that in here is cosplay. I see Guild of Cosplayers. Not sure what all is in here. Ooh. How pretty that is. That's awesome. There's a cosplay repair station in here, just in case you break anything. And here is a beautiful display of cosplays that clearly people have made in the past. Love Anastasia. All right, I have found the exhibit halls. There's a B and C. I've heard that Artist Alley and the regular stuff is all combined kind of together in the same hall, so hopefully that is what we are finding here. Look at this fabulous Barbie I found. Spin for me. Beautiful.
enough, I think that this con actually feels somehow more crowded than Emerald City. It's definitely a smaller con, but maybe because of that, it's just all packed in. I was just wandering the aisles a little bit, and it's kind of hard to get through. Just to show you what I mean, I'm skipping this row. I've already skipped a bunch of rows because you just literally can't get through. Look at this huge Nightmare Before Christmas group.
Those are great
So
costumes.
amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh. Look at that. Oh, gotta get Santa. I found Mama Santa. Okay, so this is awesome. Rose City Comicon has a free photo booth. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, but Mahu Photo. Basically, they will take a few poses of you with pictures, and in like 8 to 10 weeks, they'll give you the downloads of the pictures, which is so cool. So I just had my pictures taken. So that's a little awkward. I just went to go to this panel with a whole bunch of other people, and the panelist no-showed. Whoops, I wonder what happened to them. Anyway, I figured that I would be able to use the podium area to set up my camera and give you a little shot of the costume. Not that you haven't seen this one before. Beautiful. And they didn't even plan to wear these together. Perfect match. You gotta spin, yes, show all of the details. Look at all those. You said it was cricket, right?
Cricket.
Cricket,
Cut of
flowers.
nylon.
Oh my gosh.
Mine are all hand painted. I also hand dyed some of those flowers too.
I mean, yours are all hand painted. Oh my gosh.
I don't have a cricket, so I make
insane.
two.
Well, that's kind of what I assumed yours was at first too.
I can't
Beautiful.
I can't.
So a close up on here.
Yeah, and I'm pretty proud of like.
So pretty.
I'm a former theatrical costumer. I did that for a couple of decades. It doesn't pay the bills. I now work in apparel. Sort of pays the bills.
I'm Christine Looney. I'm a nurse in real life. I worked at the original Renaissance Fair as a very young person in Southern California in the 80s and stuff like that.
I'm Rebecca Mayton, and you may or may not know me from YouTube or Instagram, Lady Rebecca Fashions, but I actually have been doing historical costuming since 2010 at this point, and I am a historical costumer first, and I have only more recently gotten into cosplay, and most of my cosplays are historical because that is kind of my jam.
Those elements are important. Same with Star Wars. There's a lot of Princess Leia Regency because Regency key thing, little white dress. Super easy to do with Princess Leia, right?
So these pictures that you're looking at here, they are my 1830s Cinderella, which again, that was very much like following the color story of this pink dress of Cinderella specifically, and then also kind of bringing in like where she has the bows or like the white ruffle, and I just felt like it worked really well for 1830s. This is a really, really late 1830s, like 1838.
And then Laughing Moon also has a great size range, does men's and women's wear, Georgian through Edwardian in some 20s and mid-century.
Their Regency stuff
Yeah,
is really
Regency's
good.
great.
Highly, highly recommend.
The
Laughing Moon
directions
Regency.
are worth every
So
penny.
thorough for the directions. If you are comfortable enough with like sizing up a gridded pattern books are also really, really great resources. I think you mentioned Janet Arnold before. Janet Arnold is fantastic. Another one that I really like is Period Costume for Stage and Screen.
Oh yeah.
Another book that I highly recommend, it is not a pattern book, but I use it maybe even more so than my pattern books. It's called, oh great, and now I think it's Costume in Detail is the name.
Oh yes,
the yellow one?
Yeah,
Costume in Detail. Which I love that like, it just shows you line drawings of all these different extant outfits, but they've gone in and they're like, the hem circumference on this one is, 122 inches. This is how this trimming is done. So that's a really, really great one if you're interested in any sort of historical costuming, because I think it also covers like,
It's a
like
wide,
a couple hundred years at least. It's,
Yeah.
it has a wide span.
Well, then to that point, beginner, so it's your insides of your garments do not need to look perfect. Historical costumes were not perfect on the inside. What we do today as historical costumers, or the finishing that we do, the clean finishing we do, comes from the ready-to-wear industry and the couture industry that started up in the turn of the last 100 years. So it's okay if your seams are ugly on the inside. Who's gonna see it?
And you know what? If the sorry, that got really loud. If the Victorians had sergers, they would have used them. So like, just do it. Don't just put them in the closet, rewear them. But also, never go to wear your costume for the first time. Do not like put on the costume final thing when you're on your way to the event. Don't do it. Like, at least try it on the night before.
I think sewing in the car is a perfect
You're gonna like ruin your time at the event if you are still sewing and worried about things. Finish it ahead of time. I'll call it good.
Maybe if you I'm infamous for literally walking into an event and
Oh my god.
thrift stores are your friend. Goodwill is your friend. This is an IKEA curtain.
Actually,
So-
yeah, IKEA is your friend for
Actually,
a lot of historical
several
costumes.
Edwardian costumers and Regency costumers have dresses made out of this curtain. It's called Matilda. Get them in the as-is section, or they find them at thrift stores, or they go to IKEA to buy them to make them out of. So think about looking at secondhand options. There's so many out there. And as I said, estate sales are another resource.
I'm all about the estate sales.
One of the
So
things
important.
that are super important when you're doing historical costuming is what you're wearing under the dress. You have to start from the inside out because it's all about silhouette. It's very different from modern and period garments. It was more about the corset, and the understructure really did do all the work for you, not the gym, which is awesome. You get very different shapes with very different corsets. So she's wearing 18th century, it's very conical. I'm doing Regency, it's very barrel-like, basically.
Victorian hourglass.
And then you get to
Yeah.
Victorian 100 years later, and it's very hourglass. And then you get to the 20s, and it's very boy cut. And then we got to the 50s, and again, it's very nipped in waist.
Well, and a lot of that too, like it doesn't, I feel like corsets get a bad name, but of course it doesn't matter what your waist size is or anything like that. To get that silhouette, a lot of it involves padding or like other types of structures, like I'm wearing pocket hoops right now, or like you get the bustle pads, bum pads, lobster tail bustles, the Edwardian like mega padding that like when you think of Gibson girl like type look, you're talking about so much padding to get that
It makes
look.
the waist look tiny.
Yeah,
The waist
waist,
isn't
their
tiny.
waist was not that big.
It's the padding that's
Yeah.
added to the hips.
Look at this amazing Heimlich ball gown from Bug's Life. So cool. It's Wally. Hi, Wally. Wow. Oh my gosh. So cute. Look at all these droids. The Ghostbusters car. It's a little bit less crowded now, so I'm going to try and check out a little more of Artist Alley before heading out for the day. I found Miss Frizzle! Hi! Amazing Thumbelina!
So I'm glad that I got to go check out the show floor a little bit more when it wasn't so crowded, but it is now time to head out and get changed and drive back to Seattle because yeah, I'm just basically done. I'm not gonna make it to the cosplay competition, unfortunately. I would have liked to have shown that to you guys, but yeah, not for today. So I'm actually filming this outro now after I have edited the rest of the footage, and I waited because for some reason I kind of felt like I had been really negative in the video. Now editing it through, I actually apparently didn't
film myself being negative, I feel like, hopefully. So yeah, I definitely did not have a good day while I was there, but honestly, I think that a lot of that was more on me than on anything else. If you saw my Instagram stories that day, you probably knew that I wasn't having a good day because apparently I vented on there and not on here. Great. So let me just talk about my kind of overall experience going down to Rose City. First off, I think that the con has the potential to be probably really fun, honestly. It is kind of nice that it's a smaller con. It did seem like there were quite a good number of like interesting panels. Now that said, of course, one of the panels I was interested in, the panelist no-showed, so there is that. I loved the dancing panel. What I did not know until I got there was it was actually the same dance instructor that taught the dancing panel that I loved from Emerald City Comicon last year, which was the Bridgerton style dances. And seriously, both of those classes have been like my favorite part of both cons. I wish that more cons had more dance classes like that because they are so fun. Highly encourage you to sign up for any of those. They are great even for people who have absolutely zero dance experience. So if you see dance classes happening at a con near you, go for it, do it. It's so much fun, I highly recommend. The show floor itself, I definitely felt was way too overcrowded. Now, apparently Saturday of Rose City Comicon, which was the day that I was there, did sell out, but I think that they must have allowed themselves a little bit more capacity in like quantity of tickets sold than they should have, than they really had room for on the show floor. Or maybe it was that they had too many people on the show floor while they were expecting those people to be more at panels. To be honest, none of the celebrities interested me in the slightest, so I didn't go there. So I have no idea how full those panels may have been, but the show floor was so crowded that you just couldn't go through a lot of it until late in the afternoon. Like after my panel, again, it opened up and it was fine. I was able to go through a lot more of the show floor and the artist alley, which are all combined at Rose City, which is a little bit confusing, but it was nice to see both artists and the regular like expo show floor. I did find it interesting that at Emerald City Comicon, there's a lot more people doing like Disney related art than at Rose City Comicon. I have no idea why, but I noticed that because it's something I'm into and found that very interesting. I'm also still waiting for someone to have American Girl related stuff and no one has. So, you know, if you want to be that seller who has a full American Girl booth, I think you have a market there because so many people were so excited to see Felicity. And also I heard the same thing from Emily, our Shield Maiden, that a lot of people were really excited to see her Felicity. So yeah, I mean, there's a market for it. So if you happen to be watching this and you own a craft type booth, art type booth, do some American Girl stuff and get that business. Honestly though, I think the biggest issue with crowd capacity that Rose City Comicon had was food. I literally, the entire day at Rose City Comicon, I had eaten a half a banana that morning, and then I had 4 samples of a truffle from a truffle vendor later in the afternoon after my panel. That was all I ate at Rose City because I went and at about 2 o'clock, I was finally like, okay, I had kept avoiding the lines because the lines for food were so long from like the noon hour on. And so I was like, okay, noon, everyone's in the food line right now. It's okay, I'll just wait. 1 o'clock, oh shoot, it's the same problem. 2 o'clock, I'm sorry, I can't wait anymore. I've got a panel at 3. I've got to go stand in line. So 45 minutes later, after standing in that line where there was one checker handling this entire line, I had gotten to about 8 people from the front and the checker walked away. 2 minutes later, the checker still hadn't come back. And my panel, I had 15 minutes to get over there and I left. So I still hadn't eaten after waiting 45 minutes in that line. That's unacceptable. Like, absolutely unacceptable. They had an entire food area of the con floor, like where there's a built-in, you know, food cafe restaurant thing. It was closed. Why? I don't know. But Rose City, I hope that you watch this and that you take note because that is unacceptable. Anyway, the other unacceptable thing was the DoubleTree, and that honestly spoiled a lot of my fun, I feel like, of the weekend.
a hotel that charges that much per night to be on the cleanliness factor of about a Motel 6. And I mean, like, I've been in an absolutely disgusting Motel 6 where we actually decided not even to spend that initial night. It was the one at Disneyland, by the way. Don't stay there. But yeah, to have, I didn't notice the used water bottle until literally I had already taken, or was about to take my contacts out to go to bed. Like, I was in pajamas. I was in, like, I am about to crawl into bed mode, and I noticed the water bottle next to the coffee maker, and I was like, that's not my water bottle. They left a half-drunk used water bottle in this room. And that was after I had already discovered dust on a lot of surfaces, including the entire coffee maker area covered in dust, and like dirt on the remote. I turned on the TV and did everything by pressing through a tissue. The other bed, like, I'm kind of glad that my friend wasn't able to make it down there with me, or else we would have had to switch rooms, because the other bed had stains on it. It's the first thing that I always do when I go into a hotel room is I check the beds. I pick up the bedspread, I check the beds. That one had stains and a hole on the bedspread. The other bed that I slept in luckily did not, and luckily I had brought my own pillow, or I probably would have left anyway. It was just unacceptable. I mean, do not stay at the DoubleTree in downtown Portland. I'm just glad that they actually did refund me that second night, but don't stay there. And so between like the hotel and the food situation and my friend not being able to join me, I just did not, A, I wasn't going to stay overnight at that hotel again, and B, I did not feel like I had the mental or emotional energy to stay longer at the con. I knew that like after my panel was over, I basically needed to go home. So after the panel, I did walk the show floor, which, you know, was less crowded, and saw a couple of more things, and then I just had it out because I just had to. I was done. And I'm so glad that I did, because I got home and then I fell asleep on the couch. So I should not have been driving at that point anyway. So anyway, I know that this was a weird, like, abridged day or half day at Rose City Comicon, but hopefully you enjoyed this video anyway. If you like this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I do post videos here on YouTube at least once a week, usually with sewing vlogs out on Tuesdays, but sometimes other vlogs like this, and sometimes additional content out on Saturdays. But I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. That's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you'd like to help support all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to my Patreon and my Ko-fi down in the description below. Or you can send me a super thanks or join my YouTube channel memberships right here on YouTube. I'd also again like to give a humongous thank you to Christine and the PDX Browncoats for even inviting me down to Rose City and for helping me out with the hotel stay, even if the hotel stay wasn't the best. And of course, thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing!